a good Thursday, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Phillies Fastball. Oscar Budejen, Jeff Kerr. I'm Mike Gill. The Phillies lose last night. A lot of stories to discuss as this Thursday is very rainy. We don't know that we're going to get tonight's game in, but boys, let's look back at the game last night. Don't forget, find us on all the social media platforms, and make sure you like and subscribe to the show. We're live every single weekday for you, plus Sunday nights with Phillies Weekly. Last night, a 3-1 loss to the Red Sox. A lot involved in this game here. Lack of offense again. Interesting pitching by Andrew Painter, guys. We'll start there. What did you think of Painter last night and the decision to kind of get him out of that game after 5 innings, Jeff Kerr?
I didn't agree with it. I liked how he pitched, and I get it. You're sacrificing Wednesday for his long-term future. That part I did agree. And that was the first thing that popped in my head. Like, okay, I know what they're doing here. I understand what they're doing. They're trying to give him some confidence. But wouldn't him pitching the 6th still give him confidence? That's the thing. I thought he was pitching well. He was only at, 68, 69 pitches? He wasn't even at that much. I thought he was fine. I thought he was commanding the strike zone. I thought his fastball was live. He only had one bad pitch, and okay, so what? Like, that's part of the leaps and bounds of this thing. But overall, like, if you have your bullpen well-rested, wouldn't you want to keep them well-rested?
Oscar, yeah. I mean, what do you think? Jeff makes an interesting point there. He didn't have a lot of pitches in the game last night. I know he has been very up and down. Did they want to try to get him out on a high note there and give him the confidence? Hey, you did your job. Good job here. You move on. But Andrew Painter last night, seemingly, as Jeff said, only made the one bad pitch in the game. And they end up taking him out. And then, the very next inning, they give up a home run. And Tanner Banks gets the loss there, but 62 pitches last night.
Yeah, I mean, look, you have to wait. He's a young guy. You have to wait a lot of things. Should he have come out to the 6th, I probably would have brought him back to start the inning and maybe get the bullpen going if need be. But they just wanted to, after a few rough outings, they just wanted to end on a positive note. He interestingly enough, he changed his. Historically, he's led with his fastball, and the fastball was only at 24%. And you can see the effectiveness of him when you start looking at his whiff. He has 12 whiffs yesterday on 35 swings, which is a pretty good number. 45% whiff on his slider, 43% on his sweeper. As we said yesterday, those are the pitches that are working. I mean, both his fastball, only two swips in 7 pitches, and his sinker, one swip on 4 pitches. So, look, you wanted to end on a positive note. You ended up on a positive note. I think it's going to help him moving forward. But I would have brought him back on the 6th inning with 64 pitches. The other thing that it's
62.
important for 62. The other very important thing is that he got 11 strikes on 19 hitters to start the at bat. So
first pitch strikes.
Yeah, first pitch strikes. So that is something we need to keep our eye on him, because if he falls back, he needs to rely on his fastball, and that's where trouble comes.
Yeah, at 62 pitches, he comes out. Now you got a switch hitter with Gasper leading off that inning. And then Abreu, who had a great night, was a lefty. So I guess they wanted to have Banks in there to flip Gasper around and then Abreu, so you bring in the lefty there rather than them face Painter again. But, at some point you got to start learning whether you can get deep in these games. That's why, listen, I always feel that the starting pitcher is my best option, right? He's a starter for a reason. He's the better guy. And he was cruising along there. I would have liked to see Painter go another inning as for a learning situation there, rather than like, hey, you did a good job, let's get you out of here. That was my I don't think it was an egregious decision, though.
No, and look, I said it earlier. The long-term future, yes, this is going to benefit him. I have no problem with that. I understood why they did it. Didn't agree with it, but understood why they did it. There's a big difference there. And that was my thing, Mike, because I'm thinking it's a 1-1 game. This team is not hitting. They're going to blame the bullpen for losing this game. I don't agree with that either, because I don't think Tanner Banks should have been in the 6th inning, and I don't think Ryan Kirkring should have been in the 6th inning. But
so would you have gone with Meza instead of Banks? Let's say they took Painter out. Do you like Meza in that spot better than Banks?
I think I would have pitched Meza. I mean, really, I would have done what you did, Mike. I would have started Painter. Same with Oscar. I would have started Painter that inning and see what happens. If he gets the first out, okay. Then if he gets, then maybe you change things around, right? I think I just would have rather had him start that inning.
Let me put it this way. I'm a lot more worried about where our hitters are than where our pitching was yesterday, to be honest with you.
3 hits yesterday.
5 hits 2 days ago, 3 hits today, and couple. I mean, I know Sonny Gray's a good pitcher. I mean, and all that comes with it, and his experience and all that. Have 7 different pitches and all that. But Bale the previous day with a 7.44 ERA. I mean, our hitting is I mean, it's a really bad shape right now, and we need to do a much better job. And it's not about Schwarber hitting a home run every day that it's going to bail you out. I mean, this team needs to hit. They need to elevate their hitting to another level, and I'm very
the top of your lineup. The top of your lineup goes 0 for 13. Your top 4 hitters, you're not doing anything.
Yeah, Schwarber, by the way, 0 for 2, 2 walks. That streak of 5 straight games with the home run that ended, and then another streak that ended last night was the Marsh 13-game hit streak, and that was interesting. They pinch hit for him off of a lefty late in the game. I know Chapman is very, very tough, but they did hit Trey Turner for Marsh. In the 9th inning last night. Turner struck out, walked, by the way. But Marsh 0 for 3, that snapped his 13. And Oscar, you have been harping on this a lot. And Jeff, your point is great. They had 1 hit last night, 2 hits last night with Bohm and Crawford. The other hit came from Sosa, who's, I guess he's a semi-regular. So you really just 3 hits is just it's not getting.
Just don't have runners. I mean, we went 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position, and look at the previous day. I mean, we win 1 for 3. I mean, we just don't have with 5 hits. I mean, we just don't have.
So you had 6 people in 2 days. Like that's egregious to me. And this is what a lot of people got upset over this last night. I made a tweet about Alec Bohm and his at bat against Chapman. I said it's a microcosm of his season. That wasn't criticizing Alec Bohm. That was just in the moment. You make the tweet. There's
Jeff,
2 runners on.
Jeff, by the way, you're allowed to be critical of Alec Bohm. It's fair.
Oh, exactly. But everybody's like, well, what about everybody else? I'm like, that's not what I'm tweeting about right now. I'm tweeting about him, Alec Bohm, the guy that is hitting 180.
But this is not just about Alec Bohm. I mean, it's entire team.
It's not. But
4.0.
I get tired of hearing the $30 million players are not hitting. No, they are. They're the 2 that are hitting. Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper. They are hitting. You can't rely on these guys every night. Back to Oscar's point.
4.02 runs, 26 in baseball, ain't gonna cut it. I mean, and we're playing that way. And by the way, we've been regressing over the last few days. So this stat was 20, 23, 24. Now we're up to 26. And
this is my thing with baseball right now. And we have to do this because we're a daily show. I agree with the 26, but in the 13 games before that, they were hitting. Now all of a sudden they're not. It's baseball.
You have not faced top pitchers. I mean,
Bello's not a top pitcher, so you got to dismiss that. They score 8 off him.
Against whom? I'm sorry.
Bello, he's not a top pitcher.
He's pretty tough though.
Yeah. I mean,
he has 70 ERA. See, that's what I get. This is my issue with analyzing baseball sometimes. It is, they're not playing anybody. Or this guy stinks. Okay, but when they don't hit off the guy that stinks, then what?
Hey, listen, this is, though, Oscar, how many games?
These are the numbers.
How many games over the years did you call? You're doing the radio broadcast, and you're scratching your head as to, man, we just saw this team score 8 and 7 and 10 and 5 and 6. And then they go into these droughts.
It's what it is. I mean, this is a very streaky team. It is baseball nowadays where with a launch angle, you're expecting you either hit a home run. I mean, it's like basketball, right? You either hit 3-pointers. Why did the Boston Celtics lost the series against the Sixers? Because they couldn't hit the threes. I mean, it's the same thing here. If you don't hit home runs, you don't win games. I mean, if you don't get extra bases. Look, with all this, we're 10th in extra bases in baseball. But the reality is, it's just everything is concentrated on Schwarber and Harper. Look at this.
Yeah.
Everything is concentrated on Schwarber and Harper. If Schwarber and Harper have a bad day, we don't win this game.
And Marsh to some extent. Marsh
to a certain extent, but Marsh is not like your massive producer and all that. Right. He I mean, you need complementary baseball. And I was hearing the other day Dave Dombrowski talk about we need a balance. We need you when you're building a lineup. And he was talking about Luis Arraez, and he was talking about, look, guys like Luis Arraez are very valuable because they get on base. You need more runners on base on this team.
Well, that's where Bowman Stock come in because they're supposed to be the guys that get on base, and they're not. By the way, I want to see that lineup again for last night.
Add the name Turner to that list at 286 on base percentage.
But Turner didn't play it. Well, he did play, but again, I want to go back to this lineup last.
I'm talking in general.
Yeah. Your lineup last night, Schwarber, Harper. You got Schwarber hitting leadoff, Harper hitting 2. You had Garcia in the 3-hole, Marsh hitting 4. Yeah.
They weren't scoring last night. I could have told you that before the game even. That lineup was not scoring.
Are they going to score against Ranger today if they play the game?
Probably not.
We'll get into that in a second, but you're right. I mean, you have Schwarber hitting leadoff, you have Harper hitting 2, you have Marsh hitting 3. They're your most productive 3 hitters, as we just highlighted. But they're all left-handed, even to the point, guys, where Crawford had a hit in the 8-hole last night because he's left-handed. So Sosa, who's been hitting 5th in games when he plays, he had a drop to the 9-hole last night because you have so many lefties. And then, of course, Stott was in there hitting in the 6-hole last night.
We want to talk about the right-handed bats, too. And, look, I think Amundo Sosa is going to turn this around at some point. But numbers are numbers, guys. 638. That's not good.
Yeah. It's not good across the
That's an OPS for the
it's
people
all
out
of
there.
them.
Outside of Crawford, you could say he's on the average of baseball right now, or slightly above the average of baseball at 756. Everyone else except Schwarber, Harper, and March is awful.
Yeah, awful. It's a good word to describe them.
Yeah,
guys,
awful. That's a good word. Awful.
I want to just get your opinions on today's pitching matchup, which is fun. It's Luzardo and Ranger. If you could have picked one guy to stay and one guy to go, who would you have selected, Luzardo or Suarez? You know, by the way, before you answer, you know where the fans would have gone on this one.
Ranger.
Yes. Oscar, what was the decision? Pay Luzardo or pay Ranger?
I mean, age, he's a couple years younger. He has a much better arm long-term, Luzardo does. But Ranger has that DNA, and I wanted to put this for you guys so you can enjoy it. I truly appreciate what Ranger did for the Phils. 53-37, a 3.35 ERA in 187 games and 119 games that it started. In the postseason, it's what is amazing of him. 4-1, 148, and that save. I will never in my entire life will forget that save. It was a 2-out save on the last game of the National League Championship Series against San Diego. When it was rainy, the first batter bunts, and the guy comes down like the magical defender that he is, and he throws him out of first. I said, oh, my God, we're going to win. We're going to win this thing. And then the fly to right field, to Castellanos for winning. I will never in my life will forget that. That's one of the
Oscar,
most impressive saves I've ever seen in my life.
You said DNA. I'll go with the numbers. Ranger Suárez is a more proven pitcher in Major League Baseball, and Jesus Luzardo is. We talk about Jesus Luzardo and his upside, and this is what I agree with the Phillies. Yes, I think you pay the younger guy, you pay the guy with more upside. But if you're going off results and if you're going off DNA, then you should have chose Ranger Suárez because Ranger Suárez doesn't have those blow-up games like Jesus Luzardo. When Ranger Suárez pitches, I kind of know what I'm getting. I also don't know if he's going to be available half the time, but I know what I'm getting when he pitches. Jesus Luzardo, I'm waiting for the self-implosion. But here's the thing. If you pay Ranger Suárez, don't complain 3 years from now like you're doing with Aaron Nola, because that's what it's probably going to end up being.
Well, this is this is the fun conversation. But, you're right. Ranger in the playoffs, he's like your Kiki Hernandez. He's the guy that in the regular season, he's just like, yeah, he's there, he's not there, he's kind of whatever. But you're getting the big game from him. Now, Luzardo came in the playoffs last year and did have a very good relief appearance, though. You didn't sign him, though, to come in and be a relief pitcher in the playoffs. Now, you could make the argument that if you sign Ranger, that's kind of his role too. Like, he starts a game. I think they could have used Ranger in that role last year better, and they didn't use him at all in the bullpen. Correct. They could have used Luzardo better in the playoffs last year.
Look, I like the way Luzardo. To me, Luzardo earned his paycheck on game 2 and the relief appearance he had against the Dodgers. To me, that's when they accelerated the payment of his contract to this year versus being after this year because of his history with injuries. But he was amazing. I mean, Luzardo was amazing. He was filthy on that relief appearance against the Dodgers there on that game 4. That was very, very
this
impressive.
is a question.
And that's what you're paying Jesus Luzardo for. You're paying for that.
This is a question, guys, isn't it, of we get dazzled by arm talent versus a guy who, well, he doesn't have the velo and he doesn't throw that hard, but he knows how to pitch. This is a decision that like an AAU coach takes. They take the guy that throws harder with lack of command because it dazzles, as opposed to the kid who just throws strikes all the time and gets everybody out, but it's not as sexy. So Ranger is the guy that is the overlooked guy. Luzardo is the one that everybody keeps giving chances, but the numbers say it. Ranger's the more consistent guy. Luzardo's the more talented guy.
I think the other issue with Ranger is durability. He at least once or twice a year goes into the IL, and he's not a durable guy.
He almost did this year already.
But what hurts me the most is that Ranger was born in this organization. I mean, he was raised on this organization. He came from the minors. I mean, I think he signed for $10,000 out of Venezuela. He's from a very, far away area from the capital. He goes there after the postseason. After the season, he goes there and spend time with his family. They name streets after him. I know his parents is always sending messages to me. They're very, very dear people. And look, it hurt me significantly when the Phillies lost, and Ranger, they had to make a decision. They made the decision on Nola. Maybe if Nola would not have signed that contract, maybe we would have
that would have been the big one.
Yeah.
Oscar, that's a great point.
Maybe we would have both Luzardo and Ranger here.
That's a great point by you. If the Phillies had the foresight to say, hey, we want to keep Ranger, let's not bring back Nola. But Nola also a homegrown guy that they drafted.
And that's where I agree with Oscar. It's the homegrown thing. This is a guy, you're developing your system, and I get tired of hearing people say this too. They don't develop anybody. Yeah, they did. They developed Ranger Suárez. They developed Justin Crawford.
Ranger Suárez came out of right field. I don't know that anybody ever saw him being this big game pitcher with
when he signed. Not even when he signed.
Not when he signed. He came out of nowhere. Luzardo and Suárez, fun conversation. We know where the fans feel on this one, though.
Well, they love him, and they should love him.
And did you see what he did a couple of days ago, throwing seats to to the first base coach?
Oscar and I have a fun story with him. We never used to get fooled by him, but some reporters did. He would crawl under tables in the clubhouse and try to scare people.
He was so much fun.
There's better video.
I would watch him and he'd smile and he'd be like, and I'm just like, okay.
There's no better video than him dancing with like 5 beers in his hand. When they were in the playoffs in the clubhouse the one year.
I have that video. I got a ton of Ranger Suárez videos from
the good old days, man. The good old days. He was. Hopefully, they're not that old days, and we can rekindle them this year. We got to play. We got to hit a lot much better, and we got to pitch more consistently.
All right, well, 3-1 loss last night. Rafaela, by the way, with that home run for the Red Sox. That turns out to be the game winner. And Sonny Gray, 6 innings, 6 strikeouts, and their bullpen shuts down the Phillies as they lose it. But it is a fun pitching matchup, potentially, if we ever see Ranger and Luzardo, Phillies, Red Sox. Phillies Fastball is back again tomorrow. And, of course, you can hear it right here on all social media platforms and on the Sports Bash on 97.3 ESPN. All right, boys, good one today, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Go Phils. Let's go.